right. We're live. Welcome to Thirsty Thursday with myself, Paul Molinari from Popcorn GTM, and my illustrious partner in crime, Matt Hazelhoff from OGC. Matt, we've got an awesome guest today. She's sitting right there. Look at her. She's she's the best.
And we gave her the new intro. Look at that. We're fancy now.
I love the intro. It looks great.
It's got that janky, because that's what we are. This is like a janky thing, but we're also, we like to bring it. We like to bring it, Joanna, as you know. So, guys, let's do a little intro for Joanna, and then we can talk about what we're drinking today. And then let's get into the big question of the day about restaurant loyalty and where that's going. But first, a little bit about Joanna. Joanna Fantozzi is a senior editor for Nation's Restaurant News and Restaurant Hospitality. She has more than 13 years of experience writing about restaurant and hospitality industry. Her editorial coverage ranges from profiles of independent restaurants around the country to breaking news and insights into some of the biggest brands in food and beverage, including Starbucks, Domino's, Papa John's. She's been featured in lots of incredible places, including the New York Times. So, Joanna, welcome. We're so glad to be talking with you again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. What prompted me to reach out to you for this particular stream was the work that you've been doing around loyalty. So we have, and let me remind you, the audience, Thirsty Thursday is a quick half-hour live stream segment that we do on Thursday. This will be streaming live right now from LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. We try to tackle a topic. We bring in subject matter experts. Joanna, obviously, having been around this industry for so long and has seen and has reported on so many different trends, an amazing expert that we can bring into our show. So, Matt, why don't you kick off with the 5 questions that we have for Joanna today?
Absolutely. By the way, cheers. It is Thirsty Thursday, Friday.
Yes. Cheers.
Paul, not sure how you can chug back whiskey, but God bless.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's okay.
There's nothing wrong with a 1 o'clock whiskey. I am being boring and having lemon lime seltzer.
I am having a seltzer of some sort. I'm not quite sure what. I took it from my wife's stash. So no. So number one, Joanna, again, thanks for being on the show today. Love having you. It was funny. I was telling Paul right before we jumped on. For whatever reason, I don't know why. The whole "is loyalty dead" thing has actually popped up on 3 conversations this week. So not sure what's going on, but yeah, this has been a topic for some reason. I'm going to hit you with the hard question right out of the get-go.
Okay.
Is loyalty dead? I mean, is everything going to a points-based system? Is the points-based system going away? Is loyalty going away? I know that's kind of coming directly at you, but I figured I'd throw you the hard question first.
I think that even though that is a question that the industry, I think, loves to talk about, loves to ask, and I feel like the restaurant industry really likes to talk about loyalty programs and debate them, more so probably than their consumers do. So I do think that it is a little bit of it's asking the wrong question. So that might be a trick response, but I think that brands have been working on their loyalty programs for such a long time now, their loyalty strategy, that they kind of forgot a couple of things. One of those being that loyalty programs, rewards programs, whatever, no matter how robust, creative, we are not like these other guys. We don't have the dollars to points structure. We do X, Y, and Z. Loyalty programs will only ever attract your most loyal guests, right? So you are leaving a lot on the table when you focus on that as kind of like your number one marketing strategy and data collection focus. And the second thing being that there is only so much real estate on that phone. So I mean, obviously there are other options than mobile apps, but so unless your brand is doing email, SMS, or digital wallet, the average customer doesn't necessarily want to download a dozen loyalty apps.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think that loyalty is, I do think that that's the wrong question, but I do think that it is evolving. And maybe the right question is, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what the right question would be. What does loyalty mean to the average modern customer now?
Yeah,
Because
so it's not so much loyalty is dead because you're always going to be loyal to certain brands. I think what the context really is the loyalty technology or the mechanics behind how they implement a loyalty program. That seems to be evolving in different places. So, piggybacking on Matt's point about, are we watching points-based loyalty get replaced? Like, for example, you just had a great report about Starbucks bringing back tiers. So by bringing back tiers, I think they have like a green, a gold, and a reserve. What problem are they trying to solve with that?
Well, I do think I want to point out that it's still points based,
That's
even if
okay.
it's tiered. So it's still
Well,
you have to
you got to accumulate points to get into a tier, right?
right, and then you also have to. I think they added a new tier. It was the 60-point tier. Sorry, the 60-point reward. But yeah, you're still trading in points for rewards. Just now, basically, what they're doing is they're going back to in 2019 they had this tier reward system. And it's basically rewarding your most loyal customers. And I think to me, that's sort of interesting because, first of all, Starbucks has been doing this a lot lately. This has been their thing where they keep bringing back things that they used to have. So names on cups, more comfortable seating, and now the tiered rewards. And so what's interesting and different about this is that they used to have the gold and the green and gold tiers, and now they're adding a new one, the reserve tier. I did the numbers, I did the math on this. I think I'm right about this. That to get to the reserve tier, you have to spend a certain amount of dollars in a 12-month period, and so you would have to spend about $104 a month on Starbucks to get to that status.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much daily users.
Yeah.
Pretty much is like if you're not a daily user, you're not getting to that reserve status. And what's kind of ironic about that is that level has obviously the most perks, the most double star days, which is their kind of new thing, freebies. They even threw in like trips. Like I'm not
so
really
more
sure.
experiential in a way,
right? But
Yeah.
what's ironic about that is that those people are already going to Starbucks every day. So do they need all those incentives?
Right.
Joanna, it's such a great topic. So I always, all these topics I always try to bring home, like what does my family do? And I broke it down to three restaurants in my area, and we won't name names, but there are three different concepts. One of them is a I'm going to call it fast casual breakfast place. They do bagels and coffee. We'll go that far. And I'm a loyalty member. Do I go there because I've got loyalty points? No, I go there because I like where it's located. I can, do my people watching, have my cup of coffee, and have a bagel. My loyalty there has nothing to do with whether or not I go. So you have that one. Then there is I'm going to call it a restaurant that is also a winery. We all know probably who that is, the Chicago area. And my wife belongs to that loyalty program. Now, the difference there is because of the way their reward system is set up, it almost forces you to go back. So she'll all of a sudden get a text saying, you have a free tasting. You need to use it, though, by February 1st. Or you have a discount of, I don't know, $20 off, but you've got to use it by this period. We will go when those are about ready to expire. So bravo, they're using them I think the way they were intended. But now we also have a sushi place that we go to. No loyalty program whatsoever. But we go there a lot because when we go, the main chef will always sit there and go, I'm going to make you a roll that's not on the menu tonight. Now, does he charge me for the roll? Yes. So I'm not getting anything for free, but I feel pretty special when I'm there and he goes, I'm going to make you a roll that's not on the menu. You've never had it. That to me is part of loyalty. Paul, to your point is you go there because they're loyal to their customers. So I don't think it is a question of whether loyalty is dead or not. I think it's the way loyalty is being used.
I think there's like an economics. There's like the kinds of loyal. There are economic loyalties, and then there's brand affinity. Right. The brand that you feel connected with, that makes you feel special, that does these hospitality like things that make you feel welcome and part of some kind of brand community, as opposed to a transactional based loyalty. And I think what Joanna did with her Starbucks post, and I think for everybody, and this is going live, but it'll also be recorded and sent out through the channels. I implore you to go check out Joanna Fantozzi's report on Starbucks and everything she does in loyalty. But these different kinds of loyalty plays, Joanna, are we seeing changes in these loyalty plays that might feel like they're either breaking trust or might feel worse to consumers? Are you seeing any evidence of that?
I mean, I definitely think that we're seeing loyalty evolve. I love the example, Matt, of that sushi restaurant, because it really shows that it's not transactional, and it's just kind of the old school way of creating loyalty, which was to treat your regulars like special people.
Correct.
Whereas I do feel like, obviously for these larger chains, it has to be kind of transactional, because they can't really make it be a personalized experience for every single person. You can try and emulate that through technology. But I do think that what people are frustrated with, and I think that brands aren't really listening, is I guess lack of transparency and kind of feeling like rewards or loyalty programs aren't as worth it as they used to be. I don't mean to throw Starbucks under the bus. I actually have another example that is not Starbucks, but people did the math on this, and it was interesting because I kind of just reported on this. I reported on the different tiers and hadn't really thought too much about the math on this until people actually in the Starbucks Reddit kind of pulled up a spreadsheet and kind of did the math on it, and found that basically that the new tiers aren't as lucrative as they used to be. So it used to be that you have a digital Starbucks card, it's $2, 2 stars per dollar spend, and now they do not have that anymore. You still get a bonus stars when you reload your card, but it's that now it's $1, 1 star per dollar spend for the lower tier. And then it kind of goes up to the reserve tier. You get 1.7 stars per dollar spent. So kind of creating more complexities, and people feel like it's not as lucrative as it used to be. Likewise, this is outside the restaurant industry actually, but I am a member of a shall we say, a very popular ebook company. I'm sure you can guess what that is. But they have a reward system. And it used to be that you get, it's very, very simple. It's just like you get $3 off a book, however much you spend. They changed it, and now it's your points expire within a couple of months. Your points start expiring within a couple of months. And so unless you're spending like $100 on books every month, you are never seeing that $3 reward. I have yet to see one in over a year.
Wow.
And so I think that people are feeling like the goalposts are moving, and that the communication really is not as great as it could be around loyalty program changes and things like that.
So what are you seeing as the next era of loyalty? I mean, are you seeing new things pop up?
Yes, I don't know how new these things are, but I do think that they will become more popular. I am personally a fan of the digital wallet rewards.
Yeah.
I think that um, more brands are doing that, especially maybe smaller regional chains, because they realize that people don't want to necessarily download an app.
Right.
And Gen Z, older Gen Alpha now, they love paying. They don't have cash. They might not even have a credit card on them. They love paying with Apple Pay, Google Wallet, etc.
Right.
And so you can still track consumer data, you can still offer push notifications, but people do not have to download an app, and it's kind of like simpler and cleaner. So I'm a big fan of that. I think we will see more of that. And I don't want to give too much away because I haven't published this yet, but I just finished writing up a story that's going to be published later today on unique takes on loyalty programs. Because I was kind of inspired by all the news around Starbucks and all the hubbub, I guess, around Starbucks' new rewards tiers. And I wrote about 6 different programs and kind of like what they're doing, and they all do different things, but something that they have in common is tailoring their program to their brand and clientele. So there's one local Brazilian steakhouse with 6 locations.
Yeah.
That is doing group rewards this year because they got a lot of group parties. They get a lot of, and so that makes sense for their brand. So I think what we're also going to see is more brands kind of trying to figure out what works for their brand and not necessarily just kind of like copy and paste what everybody else is doing.
I like that. That's cool, and great tease, by the way, for the new story that's coming out. One area of loyalty that I always thought would gain more traction was subscription-based loyalty programs, and it's kind of interesting to me. Like, we're seeing lots of different industries now utilizing subscriptions, ranging from car washes, right? I can spend $30 a month and wash my truck as many times as I like per month. And in New England, let me tell you, that can be almost on a daily basis. We're seeing other outlets look towards a paid model where, okay, be a member. For example, even Barnes and Noble, right? You pay to be a Barnes and Noble member or REI member, and there are benefits. How is that not something that restaurants are taking advantage of? I mean, I feel like we used to see this. We used to see like, oh, you pay $100 a year and you can and a bottomless cup of coffee. Remember, I think Brugger's did that a while back. Are subscriptions? Are we going to see those pop up more?
I don't think so. I do think it works for some brands. I know that the Panera Sip Club is really popular with some people. I know several people that use that. Yep. But I do think that it really is just subscription fatigue. I think that between streaming services and you have to, I mean, like people talk about cars now, you have to unlock certain features of a car by subscribing, which is crazy. It's already in the car.
Yes.
I think people are really struggling with subscription fatigue and also feel, I think, kind of cynical toward these types of things. And feeling like, again, that kind of transactional relationship feels very corporate, feels very almost AI. And so I think that I personally do not think, I know that they were kind of like not really big for a while, but brands were trying out subscriptions models for a while. Right. And I don't think we're going to see much of that because of that cynicism for subscriptions.
Yeah, we are in a subscription-based world. That is a fact, and it is, for lack of a better word, it's fatiguing. It is, and nothing says transactional quite like a subscription does. So one of the things that I think we consider when we think about how influencers affect loyalty because we always, we know nowadays that, getting attention is the greatest accomplishment now that any brand can achieve. How do you capture mind share? How do you capture somebody's attention? So how do creators and influencers now fit into the loyalty game? Are we seeing more influencers be a part of loyalty program strategies?
Yes, I definitely think so. And I think that it's one of those things that it doesn't work all the time. And I think that the problem with a lot of brands is that they try and capture that lightning in a bottle, even if it is hard to do so not naturally. Organically, I should say. And so I think like a big example of that is Chili's, because they weren't working at first with influencers specifically, but influencers kind of flocked to them and kind of created that, like the cheese pull challenge. And they just have been going gangbusters lately and just been kind of this prime example of how casual dining is doing so well. And it has nothing to do with a loyalty program. It has to do with loyalty toward the brand, simply because a lot of people are seeing this this brand affinity online. I will say, in terms of specifically working with influencers, I do love this question, because actually we just NRN just wrapped up a monthly series that we've been doing for the past year or so on the importance of influencer marketing for restaurants. There's in partnership with Bell Communication. And the December comm specifically was on loyalty programs. And so I had not realized this, I guess, because I'm not quite in this world quite as much. I feel like my social media feeds aren't as much with the TikTok influencers that are going to chain restaurants and the mukbangs and all that, right? But the influencers that were surveyed basically said that social media content that does well for them and for the brands that they're partnering with feels authentic, not scripted, not like commercialized, and loyalty programs that are uncomplicated and easy to track with rewards. So it's kind of easier, I guess, to translate into a video.
Right.
I think it would be very hard for an influencer to explain all the nuances, for example, of the Starbucks tiered rewards. I feel bad because I feel like I'm picking on Starbucks. I don't mean to be. It's just that they are kind of the prime example of the zeitgeist.
Yeah, and they are. And let's the fact of the matter is that they have one of the most popular loyalty platforms ever. So it's, I think rightly so. We're talking about Starbucks. They're a trendsetter there. All right. Well, this has been amazing. We have to leave you with a question, though, with another question, an off the menu question. I don't know. I'm just going to pull this directly out of my ass. All right. If mom was going to cook you dinner tonight, what's mom making?
So I always say that my top meal of all time, like my last meal, would definitely be my mom's Sunday. I'm very Italian, so my mom's Sunday dinner. So like gravy, Sunday gravy, pasta, meatballs, sausage, etc. That's always my go-to.
Nice.
That's our New York girl right there.
You gotta have the Sunday gravy.
All right. So Joanna Fantozzi, thank you so much. Senior editor, Nation's Restaurant News. Check out Joanna's work at NRN. What's your next conference, Joe?
Oh, well, I'm going on maternity leave soon, so I am skipping all the conferences. It happens to line up with all of our company conferences, but the next one you should check out is in April, the Restaurant Leadership Conference. So definitely attend if you don't have plans ready to do so. I will not be there, but I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, well, we'll be cheering for you at home as you. This is baby number 1, right?
Yes.
Oh, congrats!
Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah, call me about a month in, would you?
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, Joe. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Joanna.
Thank you.